it's important that it's the right weirdness, the right disforming from every angle. A lot of possibilities. In a way, I see myself as a parasite. In this constant urge of trying to eat away into the image and understand the image. For the cutouts, I draw on the imagery and then I cut them out with a surgeon knife. And this knife is very precise. It's almost like a pen point. I can really cut in a very fluent way. When the feeling's right, it just flows. To cut away is a way of looking further. I have an extreme love for paper. My work actually starts with the existing image. I like to work with images that I find that are already there from magazines, from newspapers. Sometimes it's a screenshot, sometimes it comes from an archive, it can be a postcard. But often it's an image that I can hold in my hands. To start with an image is a combination of curiosity and necessity. They are actually the start points to the attack. A lot of these fashion images are meant to immediately speak to you, to draw your attention. And there's something in it that really attracts me, but also annoys me. And it goes almost in the same speed. The notion of wanting to slam those nails through the magazine, to really want to hold or actually contain it and close it. Especially this attack on the face in the imagery and in my work can be read as very aggressive. But for me, it's always an attempt of trying to get closer. So with this image here, I find it very interesting that it's almost like a religious image, but it just comes from a magazine. So how is it possible that we still have a need for that same kind of beauty or innocence or appearance? And this is a layer that interests me and also annoys me, but this is a good moment that I would like to try to understand more of it and maybe open it up or bend it to see like what's behind this story. But it is a bit sharp. It's aluminum. And it's quite thin, but that makes it still possible to bend. Otherwise it becomes too strong. And the more you bend back and forth, the weaker the material becomes. I tested it already on a prototype, but the moment they are enlarged, they get a whole new way of moving and reacting, and it's much more fragile. So it's always a bit scary. I have bent a big piece before. That was one laying figure, a female. So also by forming it and transforming it, it will also set itself, I hope, because it really needs to find the support in the openness by folding and by placing it again. So at a certain point I'm not afraid anymore. In the beginning I'm really careful, but now it's on. Now the game's on. Now she needs to listen. But the important part of these works is actually that it's a one cutout. So it's one line starting from the nostril and it goes all the way continuously through the bodies. The drawing line is in one continuous flow. And I think it's kind of funny that it goes from the nostril to the ear, from breathing and listening, the openings. All these works are a lot about space, how you position yourself. And with the air, we can position ourselves. In this case, I actually removed by adding. What I used here is foundation, makeup, different colors. Ones that I just buy at a drugstore, the cheap version, I have to admit. This is also, in a way, closest to painting, but then finger painting. Of course, foundation is a very strange material. It's something that you put on your face. It's very thin. It needs to hide something. At the same time, no one can see it. And I'm always very interested in these thin layers. The word foundation also intrigues me very much because it suggests something very solid and very heavy. If you say foundation to an architect, he will associate it to a concrete foundation of a building. The moment you touch with the foundation, it's a mark. It has to be right, it has to be direct. If it fails, I have to start over. A lot of editing, a lot of failing. This is a work in which I used sandpaper to erase a direct abrasion on this huge print. But again, it starts in a magazine size. I always take away the faces or cover them and slam a nail through them, put my hand on top of it, or by use of sandpaper, the faces are the first to be gone. This is something very immediate. If I erase the face, then it gives me the ability and the space to enter the image from a different position. But the deleting also gives attention to another part. So faces are a very immediate way of communicating. But they also tell us a lot and also distract us a lot in easy categorizing. Is this a male? Is it a female? How old? All kinds of categories that also distracts us. So the moment the face is not asking for the full attention, there is the ability to look further. For my final exam, I made a work for marzipan and sugar titled How Sweet is the Space Between My Legs? And I positioned myself in a broad stand like this, a firm position. And then, of course, I had to step away. So the remain was this marzipan sugar work, standing without me. Of course, marzipan is a very soft material, so it disappeared. This work was made very intuitively in those days. It was something I had to do. I felt a necessity to position myself. But looking back now, after 20 years, I can see all these themes that are still present. Searching for presence and absence. Something very close to the body, the touch, the contours. It's all still there.